In this video, I'll be starting with the basics of C++. Once you're familiar with the basics, then we'll move on to the harder part, which is data structures and algorithms. So starting with the basics, first of all, we'll look at the syntax. So in C++, whenever we start writing the code, we need to add these two lines, which is include input-output stream using namespace std and then a semicolon. So these two lines are always written at the start of the code. And then we have int main and then our curly brackets, and here we will write all of the main code. All of our main code comes here in between these two brackets. So let's start with printing first. For that we use cout. The code word for the command for printing is cout. Like in Java, it was system.out.print. In Python, it's just print. In C++, it's cout hello world, and then a semicolon at the end. You need to keep in mind in C++, you always need to add a semicolon at the end of every line. So let's run this. Oh, sorry, my PC made an error. So anyway, this is how it's outputting hello world. After basic printing, you can print like full complete sentences here just in quotation marks. So after printing, let's move on to variables. So if I have a variable number with the value 5, this will give us a red underline. Why? This will give us an error because here number is undefined. C++ does not know what the data type of number is. So whenever I'm defining any variable, I need to write its data type first. So here our number is int. So integer is one data type. Then we have boolean, which is true or false. Then we can have float, which is any value with a decimal point in it. Character, which is just a single character. Let's name it ch. And many more data types. Right now, these are the basic data types that we work with, but as we move further, we'll look at some other data types as well. Now, if I want to print the value of a variable, if I want to use a variable in cout, I'm going to do cout number. So here we get hello world and then 5, because we're already printing hello world here, and the value of number is 5. So here it's printing 5. Now what if I want, let's remove this. What if I want to print the value of number is and then 5? So I'll do the value of number is. Now in Python we use a comma to separate. In Java we use a plus. Here to separate two different things, we add these brackets again, and then we write the variable. So the value of number is number, and here you get the value of number is 5. So these were like the basics. After this, let's talk about conditional statements, which is if else. So if you know the basics of conditional statement, we have a condition. If something is this, then do that. If it's not, then we move on to else. So let's try an example here. If number is greater than 1, cout big, else cout small. So over here you can see the syntax. Our condition comes in these circular brackets, circular brackets, and then we have our curly brackets where we write the then part. So if this, then this, and then else, again we have our curly brackets, and then the condition that we need to output if this condition is fulfilled. So if the number is greater than 1, then we will output big, else we will output small. So here it's outputting big because 5 is greater than 1. So now a small problem here is you can see that here big is on the same line as 5. So if I want, after printing something, if I wanted to move to the next line, I will add end L. So what end L does is it moves the cursor to the next line. So now the value of number is 5, and then on the next line we have big. So now we've done if else. Let's cover else if. Else if number is equal to 5, then let's output exactly 5. Then let's add an else small. So let's run this. Oh, oh my bad. What I did was the first condition becomes true because if number is greater than 1, it should be if number is greater than 5. So now we have exactly 5. Let's change number to 10. So now we get big. And now let's change number to 3. Now we get small. So this is how conditional statements work. The next basic part of C++ is loops. First we have our for loop. The for loop of C++ is similar to the for loop for Java. We write for int I is equals to 1. This is our counter variable. The condition is I should be less than 10 and I plus plus. So what's happening here is we've initialized a variable I to 1. Our condition is that I needs to be less than 10. So till I is less than 10, the loop will keep running, and after every time the loop ends, I will be incremented by 1. So let's print hi over here. So it needs to print hi till I is less than 10, and after printing hi, it will increment I by 1. So let's see how this works. Now we have hi, 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 hi. So as you can see, once again, it's on the same line. So we need to add end L to the end all of these print statements. And because I want hi to be on separate lines as well, I will write end L over here as well. So this is how a loop works. Instead of writing the print statement 10 times, I can just write a loop and ask it to run it 10 times. This is a for loop, and then we have our while loop. So let's run the same thing here. Let's take a variable I and initialize it to 1, and then write the condition while I is less than 10. We will do cout hi. And after running this, we will increment I, where I is I plus 1, where I will be equal to I plus 1. So as you can see, we have 10 highs printed here, and then for the while loop, we have our 10 highs over here. Now let's talk about one more thing. We've done output, we've done conditional statements, we've done loops. Now let's talk about inputs. How do we take inputs from the user? Let's comment these out. Okay, so we have to take input from a user. So as we have C out for output, this prints whatever we wanted to print. And we have C in for input. Now you can see here the brackets are facing towards here, but here the brackets will be facing outwards. So we have a variable input. I have to define it here, int input. So now we will see in the input, and the value will be stored here in the input value, in the input variable. And then I will see out the value of input is input. So let's test this. So enter your number. Let's enter 100. So now the value of input is 100. So this is how input works. You just need to keep in mind the direction of the brackets for C out and C in. And also you have to declare the variable that you're taking as input before the C in, because if you don't do this, this will give you an error because it's undefined. So this was all for the basics of C++. In my next video, I'll talk about arrays.